Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Gnu Headspace Forrest Bailey's Pro Model. This board features Gnu's C3 camber profile, so you have a minor reverse or rocker between the feet, camber underfoot that comes down to a slight flat section before the kick in the tip and the tail. So what this is going to do is ride like a broken in cambered snowboard. So you're going to get all that load, pop, snap, and drive of the camber underfoot. You're going to get ease of entry in and out of turns just because of that small little flat section to it. This board's available in 146, 149, 152, 155, 158, and 155 wide. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a day that was a mix of blue and gray skies. You had leftover hot pow on the runs, chopped chunder, perfect corduroy, little bit of ice, zero wind, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. There's nothing mind-blowing about the flex of this board. It's a middle-of-the-road park deck. So what you get is more play in the nose and the tail where those flat spots are, stiffer underfoot, and then right in the dead center where that slight dip is, creates like a hinged flex point, and that adds to the torsional flex as well, so you can really twist this board if you need to. When it comes to stability, you're going to get a little chatter in the tips, and that's going to slightly resonate underfoot. Not enough to fatigue you, but it is there. When you get into more rutted out terrain, you're going to feel the more jarring hits, so just expect to take those to your lower back. But the nice thing is this board does not buck you. You can actually stay on top of those weird ruts and whatnot. This board will get you in the air. It's not going to boost you to the moon, but it's going to feel consistent. It's like a board that you've ridden 100 days. You know that it doesn't have the pop that it had when you first got it, but you know you're going to be able to clear that slow sign, ollie over that family of fat skiers, or boost that side hit. So when you load it up, you press back into the tail. It's got a slightly delayed reaction to it, in my opinion. It's not like super abrupt with how it rebounds, but it's consistent, so it'll get you up there. And that kind of translates over to jumps. Small to medium, this thing will just crush them, no problem. And if you know what you're doing, don't hesitate to go hit the big line. If you don't know what you're doing, you might want to rethink that. Probably because you need to like tone it down a notch or two. But overall, this board will get you up in the air. And like I said, it's just consistent. It feels like a board that you've ridden for a whole season, and you know that it's going to be able to handle what you throw in front of it. All right, I don't know where we are in this review, but have you clicked like? Have you subscribed? Have you clicked the bell and gotten those notifications so that way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for you? So with the C3 camber profile, you've got this flat spot in the nose and the tail. That's the sweet spot. That's where you want to press into it. And when you do, this board does not fight you. It locks in, it holds, you can swizzle and sizzle, and then when you need to pop out of it, you can. You don't have to worry about it. You want to like sit on your tail, get sideways, bring it back up, go for it. The one thing is the tip kick isn't crazy abrupt, so if you're really hoping to leverage it way out on the tail or the nose, you're just going to have to just really center flex the board to get it to do it what you want. When it comes to jibbing, those sweet spots, hold that press to the very end, and then it's very easy to engage with a minimal flick to pop off the end of the feature. Going sideways, even with that slight dip, it doesn't fight you. It will lock in right through the center of the board. You can feel it really hug and caress the rail. It does fine. I mean, this is Forrest Bailey's park board, rail board, whatever you want to call it, and it shows that. It's solid. So with that key defined flex point right between the feet, that adds to the torsional flex. You can twist this board. That helps ankle steer. So if you're doing short, tight, quick carves, it's coming directly underfoot. Medium, mellow carves come a little bit more outside the foot, and you feel it lock in, that magna traction holds. You're going to be able to grip that carve and just let it swoop from one side of the run back to the other. Now, deep, hard, aggressive carves leave more to be desired. You've got that sweet spot in the tail that's a little softer, so when you drive your knee into the center of the board, you've got that flex point, and that engages the camber back through the tail. You will hit limitations with this. You can lay it over, but if you keep trying to push it, you're gonna wash out. You're going to notice that. So you kind of have to tone it down, and it makes sense. It's a twin park board. That's not what this board is actually for at all. So if you were just hoping to rail hard carves, you'd probably be better off with the 4x4 instead of this. Rider in mind. So who is this board for? It's for the all-around park rider that wants a board that they feel like they've been on for a full season right outside of the wrapper. So when you rip it right out of the wrapper, you mount your bindings on, you know what you're gonna get. All right, if you like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. I really dig this board now that they got rid of the ASIM side cut. Sure, you don't have as aggressive of a heel side carve with it, but for what this board is, you don't need that. It's got a great sweet spot for pressing into in the nose and the tail. You can really feel it lock in. It's playful where it counts, and like I've consistently said through this review, it feels like a board you've been on 100 days, and that's nice. It's just good to get on a board and know how it's going to get the job done, and that's what this board does. Comparable boards: the Ride Zero, the Capita DOA, the Rome Agent. Binding recommendations: the Bent Metal Axtion, the Ride C6, the Union Force. This has been my review of the Gnu Headspace. If this isn't what you're looking for, but you want something comparable, why don't you deep dive into our back catalog of reviews? Seriously, there's got to be something there, so why don't you go watch one of the reviews for one of the comparable boards.